What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be talking about an easy one-play touchdown that's against any coverage. Bro, it's wild and savage, but what you're going to need to do is a couple things, right? Towards the end of the video, this guy is going to do something that's really wild, and I'm going to actually explain that further, but I'm going to go through and break it down for you guys to kind of understand what's happening. On your wide receivers, in order for you to make this possible, you're going to have to equip post flag elite or maybe post elite, whatever type of route that you're going to be throwing. You're going to have to equip an ability that makes it so that it says gets better catching on whatever the route is. All right, streak specialist is not really that good anymore because they nerfed it earlier, like probably like September or something like that. They nerfed it. So right here, it's not this. It's not what you think. Like you guys probably thought, oh, he's talking about Moss because I just threw it in the triple coverage and it's a catch and it could possibly be a touchdown. No. That's not what this is about. It's not what you think with that. Moss is well, it's not usually always guaranteed because I know a lot of you guys have seen that with the actual ability with Moss, a lot of people are not really getting those catches with the Moss ability. Even when it's 55 plus yards, I think EA kind of secretly tuned that as well. They're not making us be able to catch it as consistently as it was when it first came out. I'm talking about before they patched it, they made it 55 yards instead of 50 when it was originally created. So this is what's going to happen, right? This one play touchdown is very simple. Anything that has like a tight formation with at least two people on one side, you're going to want to make the outside guy be on a post route. Now, you can do a lot of things. You could use slot apprentice. You can have a quarterback like Kurt Warner or any field general that gets, the hot route master or whatever he gets that gives him all the abilities. So that way you can make sure that no matter what the formation is, you can make your player go to a post or an out route. Okay? Now, with those routes, you're going to just simply make sure that you set up your route chemistries with the other players so that they can either go do hitch routes, they can do flat routes to kind of, draw the coverage down. I'm going to give you several examples where I do it. Right here, this is just, just showing it to you. So one play touchdown. What I did on that play is I ran a close slot formation and I pretty much had Calvin Johnson as the outside receiver on an out route and Randy Moss as the inside receiver on a streak. So at some point, they're going to have to follow one. Regardless of the one that they follow, it's going to be a one play touchdown. Because the two on one side, and in addition to the post flag elite, you could probably go streak specialist on the players as well. Because technically, with the way that it works, you don't really need to put matchup nightmare on your wide receivers. I just do it because it's like whatever. But primarily, you want to utilize matchup nightmare on like tight ends. Maybe if running backs can get it because they're the players that usually go up against the middle linebackers and whatever. All right, so these are the things that I need you guys to understand. What we're going to do is I want you guys to pay attention because throughout this game, not only is this guy's playoffs in Legend, but he has a lot of abilities on little receivers like Tyreek Hill, and this is going to be a huge example to make you guys kind of understand exactly what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Whatever way you set up your offense, just make sure that you throw the route to the receivers that have these specific abilities. Another thing that I'm going to want to suggest with you guys, with easy one-play touchdowns, the run game is very dominant, but you're not always going to get away with it with eye tight. All right, let's just be very clear about that. I don't know. He just clicked on and picked that. That was crazy. Who's that? Tre'Davious White? That dude's a goon. Pretty much the run plays are not always going to be consistently, even with the tight, the wing, whatever. Like he's getting great blocking, he's trying to dominate me, but that's not really going to always pretty much guarantee you that one-play touchdown because EA has kind of tuned the game to make sheds be a little bit more relevant. So you can actually shed a lot faster now. So because of that, it's very hard for you to be able to get off those one-play run touchdowns. So I want you to be very clear about that. Same play again. You see the out corner? You see what he's doing? These are one-play touchdowns that as long as you come out in a close slot formation and you put the outside receiver on the out corner, you're going to be able to get the separation. Now, when you go for the ball, it's going to make it, just make sure you have a big receiver there. If you want to put a tight end there, that's fine. But I like having a receiver there just in case. But the way that it could work for you, if you do put a tight end there, I actually tested it out with Kittle. If you put a tight end there and give a matchup nightmare, it will be even more wild because something is going on with it, which is why EA Sports is going to be patching matchup nightmare because they feel that it's giving the offense too much of an advantage. Now, that's kind of weird to all of us because we're trying to figure out, like, if you want us to run the ball more, why are you taking stuff away from the passing game? But to be fair, dudes are getting mossed into oblivion now. All of a sudden, my last weekend league, I was getting mossed so much, I didn't even know what was going on. And like I said, towards the end of this video, you're going to see that this guy's going to moss me with Tyreek Hill. But I can't be mad about it, and let me explain why. That's what the ability is supposed to do. Now, has Tyreek Hill done that in real life? Yes, but that's not why I'm not upset. I'm not upset because that's what the ability is intended to do. For instance, I raged when armbar was doing what armbar was supposed to do, but I never asked for it to be patched like all these other guys on Reddit and all that stuff, because that's what it was designed to do. I've seen Derrick Henry punch 4 guys in the throat on a football field and run for 6. I've seen that. You know what I'm saying? So if you give certain people that ability, I know it shouldn't be like regular or whatever like that, like every time he's punching 4 guys in the throat, but he should be eligible to get those crazy plays off if the game deems it proper for him to have that ability. Right here, moss him. Like, you see, you understand what's going on with this? I could have gone for the streak also. Right here, we do the crosser. You got to understand something there, and you don't need cross specialists. Usually the cross routes, they're more wide open, so you don't really need to do much. Right here, he just got a different animation, so he was able to stop it right there. This guy had double me right here, and then EA just cheated me because usually, you know, one-on-one, but I guess they're saying that the safety came over a little bit, so that's why he dropped the ball right there. But regardless of what your game plan is, I need all of you guys to understand, as I get dotted at the end of the half with on the run deadeye, because nobody wanted to jump, that's fine, bro. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Do what you got to do. That's not what I'm talking about, by the way. Those plays out of the Miami playbook with the you know, the out, what is that? That's the outpost, the outside receivers on the post, and then you hitch the inside receiver, and then, you know, it automatic. That's been going on for like a while. That's been a crazy scheme for a while that's been happening. It usually the safety just doesn't play around, even if he's in the middle third. He runs behind him. It's been typical stuff that's been going on for a while. I'm not worried about that. That play is not going to happen again. And the only reason, honestly, that it did happen is because I didn't shift my safety over. So that was my fault. I didn't think he would have enough time. He outran my defense, and that's what happened. All right, so look, getting back to the way I need you guys to set up your offense, right? Regardless of the players that you pick to put post flag, elite on, streak specialist, whatever, matchup nightmare, just understand this. If you want it to be a more consistent type thing, go for the bigger receivers and the bigger tight ends. All right, 6'6", things like that. Put it on the bigger players, because that is the only way you're going to have success consistently. Now, EA Sports is in the works of planning it. If you play salary cap, you may have noticed that matchup nightmare, backfield mismatch, anything that says better catching on anything has been adjusted to 999. Because of that, you have to be very, very careful, because like however they decide to patch it, they're going to have to make it look decent so that people are not raging, so they won't be able to just say, all right, everybody can't catch the ball, because it's going to make it so that all the receivers, everything is a joke now. Nothing really makes much sense. Like, look at this right here. You see this? You see how Calvin jumped up and caught that? That right there is wild and savage. But let me ask all of you guys that are watching this video. Would Calvin Johnson have caught that ball if that was real life Calvin Johnson? And if you guys say no, then you probably never seen Megatron play. Most of us would agree that he would probably catch that ball, right? So it shouldn't make you as mad, because it's not something that is like fake. Now, if I let Darren Sproles do it, that's 5'0", because he has, you know, matchup nightmare, post specialist, all kind of specialists with the specialist. If that happens, I could understand the rage. But this is what I'm saying. At some point, these bigger receivers have to have an advantage. You know why? It'll make us go out there and get Mike Evans. It'll make us go get these slower receivers, because they'll actually be able to do stuff like in Madden 15. So EA is actually on the right path, but again, they're going to fall victim to people complaining. And I understand, look, the matchup nightmare is wild, and I understand completely, because some of the videos that I've seen, dudes are mossing everybody, like 4 or 5 guys. But I don't know if the patch is just going to make it so that nobody jumps or reacts. That's what I'm concerned about. Can my players jump? Can my players move like human beings? Like, look, you saw what just happened right there? That's completely ridiculous. But here we go to what I want you guys to understand. You see this right here? Now, some of you guys might say Tyreek Hill could never do that, but he's actually done stuff like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at why he was able to do that. He has streak specialist and post flag elite. So whatever he was just running right there, whether I think it was like more of an, maybe like a flag, whatever it is, or maybe a corner, maybe like a corner route, whatever, he's gonna have an advantage over my player of catching that. That is the only reason that he was able to catch that. Now, if you look at his running back with backfield mismatch, that's also been adjusted to 999 cap and salary cap because of, people overusing it and going wild with it. If he motioned Saquon Barkley out of the backfield and threw it into coverage, he would have an advantage of catching it against the linebackers. You see what I'm saying? Like, if he threw it against any linebacker, he would be able to aggressive catch him, which is why people are very, very upset about the things that are going on. But like I said before, these are the actual abilities that you need to add on to your receiver. Streak specialist and post flag. And you have to throw those routes, and you have to position yourself to aggressive catch. And usually you're going to get the advantage, which is what we just saw there. So I can't be mad at him because that's what he paid for. That's the ability, and that's what EA intended. So I want to know with you guys, are you ready to go out there and start making your wide receivers OP again? Let me know. Leave it in the comments, all right? Have you been enjoying your day today? Leave us some feedback. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. You enjoy your day. Stay blessed. One love.